biggest danger to you in this world is not a COVID pandemic, it's not earthquakes, it's not hurricane. The biggest danger to you is cultural illiteracy. Today I'm going to talk about 3 different ways that culture puts you in danger. I'm Paul, and welcome to my channel. In today's day and age, where we can communicate with anybody around the world at any given moment, it's become more important than ever to learn what culture is and to understand it. You go back through time and you study different conflicts, different wars across the globe, and you see the same pattern. One country, one culture believes they are entitled to something else another culture has. Or one culture believes that they are defenders and they can go in and defend another culture because they believe that they are the stronger, superior power. In addition, culture chooses leaders. Leaders with different ideas, and they stand behind those, and so when there's a conflict, when there's a war, that culture is already behind that leader. Entire cities, nations, countries have been completely obliterated, all because one culture, one country decided that they're more important than another, or they're more right than another, or they deserve some land and the other country, the other culture didn't. When our leaders are culturally illiterate and don't understand the culture of other nations, other groups of people, it puts our lives in danger because they misunderstand the actions of others and act on that. Ethnocentrism, which is when you see your culture as more important, better than anybody else's culture, is super dangerous. It means you have the right to go into another country, another culture, and to take it over. There are leaders all across the world that are culturally illiterate and have no idea what's on the other side of the culture that they are trying to defeat. We need to make sure that our leaders are culturally literate and understand that there are different values and there are different experiences, and that's okay. Just because something's different doesn't mean it's bad or evil. The second way you can be in danger from cultural illiteracy is from negative energy from your own culture. Cultures naturally develop conformity. That's what culture is. It's shared values, it's shared experiences, expectations, shared assumptions. But what if your values, your experiences, your beliefs are not the same as a culture you live in or that you're from? Your own home culture. When I was 9 years old, I was homeschooling, and my parents decided to put me in public school for the first time. They decided to put me in 4th grade. And I went into 4th grade, I was academically prepared, all the tests said I should be in 4th grade. I started off the year, and as the year progressed, I got frustrated, I got sad, I couldn't keep up with schoolwork, and the first report card I got back was full of F's and I's, which means incompletes, and I was just an utter failure. I felt like I did not belong, and I went home crying. I didn't ever want to go back to school again. And I guess this is where I developed my affinity for culture, because my parents met with the school and they made a decision. They decided that I was not socially ready yet to be a part of 4th grade. So they went ahead and put me in 3rd grade, where I could focus on the social, on the cultural part of school, rather than the academic. And I succeeded well. And this is where I had my first culture shock moment. But we see this on different scales every day, not just with kids going into new school systems, but you see this with people that are having mental disorders, being kicked out of homes, families, even communities, and on the street because they don't have the same beliefs or experiences as the people that they're part of, their culture, their group. You see this in many different ways. People being kicked out of their home culture, made into outcasts just because they have a different belief or a different thought. You can lose jobs, family, money, inheritances, all sorts of stuff, just because your values and your beliefs are not the same as your home cultures. I used to do a lot of work with the homeless. And I sat down, I heard a lot of their stories. And you know what the number one thing that came up in these stories was? They were kicked out because their beliefs, their thoughts, the way they saw the world was different than their families, their communities, sometimes even their countries. The third way that culture puts you in danger is culture shock. You leaving your home culture and going into another culture and trying to live amongst them. This can happen internationally, and this can also happen domestically in your home country. For as many groups of people there are in the world, there are that many cultures, if not more. You've got a culture for your home. You've got a culture for your school, for your workplace. Culture shock can put you in real danger. My biggest culture shock moment was my move to France. I thought I did all the research, I thought I had purchased all the tickets and got everything straightened out ahead of time before getting there. And once I got there, everything was not as I expected. The bus station wasn't in the place I expected it. My bank card didn't work to print my tickets. I couldn't pronounce the name of the city I was going to correctly. And I didn't know how to get on a train in France. All those different things could have put my life in danger. Culture shock, cultural misunderstanding, cultural illiteracy. I did not understand the other culture well enough to be able to perform well in it. Because of that, I had heightened blood pressure. I could have torn out my back or something from lifting my bags because I was in the wrong place. Or somebody could have stolen my bank information because I was trying to put my bank card in the wrong places. Culture shock, culture misunderstanding can put your life in serious danger. It's important to understand the culture that you're going into beforehand and even take time and study it. If you're going into a new place, take at least 10% of the time that you plan on being in that place just to stop, watch, observe, and learn about the environment around you. Learn about the group and culture around you. When we understand culture, when we are culturally literate, we can navigate it mentally and we can help others understand each other. And that's the goal of these videos. That's why I want you to see is that culture is important. Everywhere we look, we see cultures interacting with each other. Whether it's YouTube, TikTok, or even towns and sports teams playing against each other. Cultures everywhere are interacting with each other. And to learn how to interact with people with different values, beliefs, and even experiences from our own. In the upcoming weeks, I'm going to be making a series of videos where we talk about culture, what it means, what culture shock is, what are cultural stresses. So let's learn about culture together. Let's make this world a better place so that we don't have to feel like we're living in danger all the time. Be sure to like this video, share it with a friend. If you have a question about culture, be sure to put it in the comments below, and I'll be sure to get to that in the weeks to come. Thanks for following me, thanks for joining me today, and hope you have a great day.